Welcome to the Policy Times. The India-Korea Technology Exchange Center was inaugurated at National Small Industries Corporation on July 10, 2018. Our reporters went to the Indian Habitat Center to cover the conference. Recently, PM Modi and South Korean President Moonjae-in inaugurated world's largest mobile factory in Noida. Reports suggest that the current capacity of Samsung's manufacturing plant in Noida is around 67 million phones. It will also work towards building reliable alliances in space, solar energy, nanotechnologies, and some other upcoming technologies. An MOU was signed between the small business corporations of Korea and NSIC for cooperation in the field of MSME sector.
Hello, I'm Sajid from the Policy Times. We have with us Tik Sung Jong, CEO of SIDAR. Sir, what is the product?
So they're providing digital signage software to market. So exactly, there's promoting the digital signage which can be used in the promotion. Actually, there are so many coffee shops or retail shops, right? So they're using now these days digital signage with the board. So they're providing the digital signage software to the retail shop or with also hardware.
Can you introduce it globally?
Actually, to the India, it's we are starting the business at the moment. It's beginning time. It's a primary stage to promoting our product in India. So in this stage, we are thinking to firstly meet buyers in India, and we are going to firstly to have a meeting and introduce our technology with this kind of conference, this B2B matching event or the fairs, so that through the fairs we are going to have a lot of buyers, a lot of related business buyers. That's why through these fairs we're going to firstly meet the buyers and promote our software and or even the hardware products.
This is your first company?
Yes.
And this is your first country to introduce your company?
This is the first country, India. 이 다른 또 나라에 진출한 경험이 있어요.
일본에 이제 6월 달에 MOU 계약 맺고 진출하고 있습니다.
They contracted MOU in Japan as well in June. So now they are promoting their products in Japan. So Japan is
Before India?
yeah, before India.
Why you choose India?
Because India is an emerging country in economically, so they are now growing and growing so faster. Even now it's become their market is getting bigger. So we definitely thought the Indian market has so much potential. So we are now investing in Indian market. So now that's why we chose the India to promote our products and to penetrate the India market.
What does the technology policies suggest to India?
Well, I know there are so many policies in India now for many startup companies. We also startup companies, and there give so many incentives to startup companies. And now the Make in India. So that's why many companies try to manufacture their own companies, their own manufacturing facilities in India. But for the startup companies, building up the facilities in India is quite burden. It's quite expensive. So I hope the Indian government to provide much more incentives to the startup companies, such as like giving like a tax rebation, tax duties reduction, this kind of incentives, or when they invest some products to Indian market, like incentives should be provided to this kind of startup companies, so that because of these incentives, they much more get the acceleration from this company from these incentives to penetrate India market.
Okay. How can you boost your technology policies to India between Indian and Korean government?
How can we boost? Yes. Well, definitely, I hope this kind of conference should be held much more than before, so that India and Korea getting know each other, and also what they are really wanting from each other, what technologies, what policies should be required for boosting the Korea and India in the exchange technology field or startup companies field. So I think, as I mentioned in earlier, this kind of fairs or the conference should be held much more so that startup companies have much more opportunities to meet each other. If without meeting each other, how can we proceed a business, startup business? So I think this kind of conference should be should be supported by each government, India and Korea, so that the startup companies have a business together or have a meeting together to know each other, to know their technologies or their products each other.
We have with us Pankaj Agarwal, CEO of Tag Hype. Sir, why you are choose Korea apart from India?
So I went to Korea a long time back when Samsung hired me from IIT Kanpur, and I happened to be there for a long time. So as a Samsung employee, I worked as an engineer and as a marketer, as a strategist, and then luckily I got a chance to do a startup, being in Samsung. And so I naturally happened to start my own company in South Korea. So we are a kid tech company.
Yes.
We make solutions for smart toys, and we make solutions for smart schools. In case of toys, we make hardware and an application for mobile phones that can make any toy smart. These days, physical toys are becoming less and less relevant because kids want to play more on screens. So we provide a solution that any toy company can adopt to make their toys more relevant. They can have a smart app component and a smart hardware that interacts with the app almost seamlessly. In case of education domain, we have a smart clicker solution, student response system that we have developed that allows kids in the classrooms to respond to the questions the teachers ask and quantify all the data that teachers can see, and later on use that data to teach more effectively in the classroom. So we have that solution. Both the solutions will be in the Korean market in the second half of this year. Almost towards the end of this year. And we also are trying to create a market for a low-cost clicker solution in India. So that's why we are here, to understand what the needs are for a clicker solution for Indian schools.
How can you introduce your product globally?
So right now because we are a startup, we don't have much resources to deploy for targeting global market. So we want to stick with Korean market first, and then once we have made a good reference, that is by the end of this year, then we will start reaching out to global markets. In fact, we are already talking to companies around the world, both for smart toys and for also smart school solutions.
You are Indian. You go from India to Korea and make a big technology like Tech Hype and introduce in India. Why you not live in India and make a good type of technology and introduce to Korea and all over the world?
I think it does not really matter whether you started from Korea or from India or for anywhere else. Being an Indian, you're always an Indian at heart, right? I still have the nationality. I'm a permanent resident of South Korea because it helps me to do business more easily. I think for me, world is a global village, and it doesn't really matter which nationality you belong to as long as you are creating value. So we are creating something that will be used around the world. So we're really happy about that. Because if you join a big company, maybe you will learn a lot, maybe you will get a lot of experience, but at the end it boils down to really doing something that you love, you enjoy, and that can also at the same time add value and make the world a better place.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
We are with us Charlie Jae-in, Director of Dot. Sir, what is your product?
Yeah, actually our product is for the blind people. So is a blind people can able to using the smartwatch. So they can receiving any message and email and phone number and take a phone and reject the phone right here. So is our technology is this one. This one is very small. This is the world first technology in the world. So is actually the current technology is this kind of big and very expensive, but ours is a small and light and cheap. So we are developed the smartwatch for the blind people. World first smartwatch.
How can you introduce your product globally and also in India?
Actually, we are helping to the blind kids because education is very important. If they're born to blind, they should have to know to the braille language. They don't know how to reading the alphabet. So they should have to learning to the braille. So we are teaching to the alphabet by using this smartwatch.
How can your technology policies introduce Indian government?
This is a piezoelectronic technology. And our technology is electromagnetic. So we are introduced this technology to the Indian market using to the infrastructure and smartphone which is a mobile. It's this kind of a module into the infrastructure. They can reading any language to the translating to the braille. I think in Korea we are incubating to the lot of startup technology in Korea, but I'm not sure to the. Yesterday I visited to the IIT Delhi and they are having a good program, so we are very interested to the India technology also. So we want to find some good technology and good startup company we can able to collaboration.
Okay, thank you for giving interview.
Okay, thank you.